I'm Jordan Greer from GT Planet, and this is the Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Extreme. This is a completely new product from Fanatec and is now the flagship in terms of Gran Turismo branded hardware, which will be used at all Gran Turismo World Series live events moving forward. So, what is this exactly? To explain, it helps to understand a brief history of Fanatec's product line. Ahead of GT7's launch, the company released the Gran Turismo DD Pro, a bundle which included a CSL DD wheelbase with added PlayStation compatibility, a Gran Turismo branded steering wheel, and CSL pedals. Now, the company is revealing new, higher-end direct drive bases, the Club Sport DD and Club Sport DD Plus. The DD has a 12 Nm motor and is compatible only with PC, while the DD Plus has a more powerful 15 Nm motor and is compatible with both PC and PlayStation 4 and 5. That all brings us to the Gran Turismo DD Extreme, which is the DD Plus wheelbase packaged with a new Gran Turismo branded steering wheel. It's worth noting this wheel is exclusive to the DD Extreme package and will not be sold separately. First, we need to talk about the wheelbase. Both the Club Sport DD Plus and its little brother, the Club Sport DD, are important products as they represent something of a turning point for the Fanatec ecosystem. This is the first wheelbase designed from the ground up with Fanatec's new QR2 quick release system. There is a lot to say about QR2, but what you need to know is that it is Fanatec's new mounting system which connects its wheels to its wheel bases. And it's pretty great. Since QR2 adapters were released for older wheels and wheelbases just a few months ago, it has been widely praised as easier to use and significantly more durable. Most importantly, it creates a tighter connection, which means there will be less flexing in the shaft. This results in a more responsive wheel and more detail in the force feedback signal. Because the Club Sport DD bases have been designed for QR2 from the outset, these are currently the only bases in the Fanatec lineup with the QR2 Type F base side adapter. The Type F adapter includes integrated electronics, which Fanatec claims makes the shaft even stronger and more stable. Of course, this means that if you have an older wheel you want to use with a Club Sport DD base, you will need to upgrade it with a QR2 wheel side adapter. If your old wheel is not compatible with those adapters, Fanatec says they are also planning to release a QR1 downgrade option for the Club Sport DD base sometime in the future. Because Club Sport DD wheelbases are fully integrated with QR2, they are also the only current Fanatec bases which support the company's new full force feedback system. Existing force feedback protocols were developed when sim racing hardware was dominated by gear and belt-driven wheels. Full Force is a new protocol developed by Fanatec specifically for its direct drive motors, which enable high-frequency effects calculated at 16,000 Hz with ultra-low latency. The only issue is because it is such new technology, no games actually support Full Force at the time this review is being filmed. Fanatec says it is working closely with a wide range of game developers, including Polyphony Digital, to bring Full Force support to as many titles as possible. Considering this is the new flagship wheelbase for GT7, it should be a showcase for the technology, and hopefully Polyphony Digital can get the most out of it. I will be testing Full Force as soon as I can, so be sure to subscribe and keep a close eye on GT Planet for more on that as soon as it becomes available. As mentioned, the Gran Turismo DD Extreme package includes the Club Sport DD Plus wheelbase, which features a direct drive motor capable of producing up to 15 Nm of sustained torque. Fanatec is, of course, quite proud of its engineering efforts in this motor, claiming it has the best thermal performance in its class to provide more consistent and stable output even in the most extreme conditions. This is impressive considering the unit is passively cooled. There is no fan, no gears, and no belts. It is completely silent. Fanatec also says the motor has the fastest slew rate in its class, which is a measure of the motor's responsiveness. This means the motor can react faster to changes in the electrical input signal coming from the game, and will be an important factor when producing the higher frequency full force effects mentioned earlier. Out of the box, the Club Sport DD Plus wheelbase is compatible with Windows PCs and both the PlayStation 4 and 5. And thanks to a clever workaround, the base can also be used with Xbox game consoles if you attach an Xbox licensed steering wheel. The base connects to game consoles or PCs through a USB-C port on the back and comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable. Other ports connect the power supply, shifters, pedals, and a handbrake. Notably, the base also includes a CAN bus port, which will supposedly be used to connect future Fanatec peripherals in a more efficient way. Speaking of peripherals, the Club Sport DD is compatible with all Fanatec steering wheels and pedals, though, as mentioned earlier, wheels need to be updated with a QR2 adapter, or the Club Sport DD will need to be downgraded with a QR1 adapter. It is also compatible with the Club Sport shifter, Club Sport handbrake, and all Fanatec cockpits. It's worth noting the base does not come with a table clamp out of the box, so you will need to purchase that as an additional accessory if you don't plan on mounting it to a driving rig. For driving rigs, the wheelbase supports Fanatec's T-nut rail system on both the bottom and the sides of the housing. Now we come to what makes the Gran Turismo DD Extreme package so unique: the steering wheel. This is a 300mm wheel wrapped in vegan leather and was designed in collaboration with Polyphony Digital. As it was also designed with the QR2 system and the Club Sport DD Plus base from the outset, it is able to operate with the base running at its full 15 Nm of torque. It includes 11 buttons in a familiar PlayStation controller layout, along with a 7-way funky switch that also serves as a push button and rotary dial. The rotary dial has a nice click to it and can be used to scroll quickly through menus in Gran Turismo 7. It also includes 4 5-way directional sticks, which provide instant access to the various settings in GT7's multifunction display, like traction control, brake balance, fuel consumption, and torque distribution. On the back, the wheel features aluminum paddles with a magnetic shifting action and 2 programmable analog clutch paddles. The real star of the show here is the 2.7-inch OLED display, which serves 2 purposes. First, it provides access to the wheel's tuning menu, and I can tell you this is the best tuning menu I have ever seen on a sim racing wheel. The large screen size makes it really easy to see exactly what you're doing. I was also glad to see Fanatec's developers put all of that screen real estate to good use, displaying a brief description of what each setting actually does. To access the tuning menu, you press a small button near the display. This activates the 7-way directional switch to control the menu and navigate through the various settings. There are 5 settings profiles that you can save in the wheel, or you can use the automatic settings as programmed by the developers of whatever game you're playing. Each setting profile has all of the standard Fanatec tuning options, in addition to a specific setting for the strength of the full force effects. The most interesting and exciting use of the OLED display is called Intelligent Telemetry Mode. Although it must be supported by game developers, it makes full use of the screen to show virtually anything. Even better, on PC at least, it is fully programmable using the Fanalab software and can display whatever you want. Assetto Corsa Competizione on PC is the first title to support Intelligent Telemetry Mode, and gives a look at what this feature will be like as more games support it. By default, the game shows your gear and speed in the middle of the display, flanked by your lap count and race position on the left, and your lap times on the right. Using Fanalab, you can set it to show fuel levels, traction control settings, tire temperatures, and more. At the time of filming this review, Gran Turismo 7 does not yet support Intelligent Telemetry Mode, but as with full force support, I suspect this will arrive soon. The Fanalab software can also be used to customize the 19 different RGB LEDs on the wheel. This includes a diffused rev strip which shows your engine RPMs, the illuminated RGB rings around each of the 5-way directional sticks, and the curious new flag LEDs near the center of the wheel. The flag LEDs are a set of 6 narrow RGB lights near the middle of the wheel, stacked in threes on each side. Like the intelligent telemetry mode, it's going to be up to developers as to how exactly they use them. As we can see in Fanalab, in addition to on-track flag colors, a few options include showing when the pit lane speed limiter is in effect, wheel spin, traction control, DRS, and more. The older Gran Turismo DD Pro will continue to be sold alongside this new Gran Turismo DD Extreme. This means Fanatec is now producing 2 Gran Turismo branded products, and I think it's worth taking a closer look at exactly how these two bundles compare to one another. Of course, the newer and more expensive DD Extreme outshines the DD Pro in every category. The most obvious upgrades are in terms of wheel force, which jumps from 5 or 8 Newton meters to 15 Newton meters, and wheel size, which jumps from 280 millimeters to 300 millimeters. The actual wheel of the older DD Pro was always its weakest point, with a tacky feeling rubberized trim and the worst plastic paddle shifters I have ever used. As for the DD Extreme's wheel, although it's not perfect, and I'll get to that in a bit, it is light years ahead of the DD Pros. The buttons and switches have been upgraded, the screen is amazing, the vegan leather feels so much better on your hands, and the larger size makes the wheel look and feel more realistic. Personally, however, I think the most significant upgrade available in the DD Extreme will be full force support. I am a huge fan of higher frequency vibrations in force feedback, and if full force turns out to be anything like the similar technology from Logitech or Thrustmaster, it has the chance to be a literal game changer, which transforms how games like Gran Turismo 7 feel to play. Having said all that, the older DD Pro is still a pretty good value. It's a widely supported direct drive wheel in Fanatec's ecosystem. It can be upgraded to support QR2 quick release. And don't forget, it includes a set of the excellent and upgradable Fanatec CSL pedals. As for driving impressions, with Gran Turismo 7 in particular, it feels a bit premature to talk about that because as of filming, full force is not yet integrated into the game. I had the chance to preview this wheel and speak with Fanatec staff at the GT World Series Finals in Barcelona, and from what they had to say, full force is going to be a significant development and will likely be one of the biggest reasons to go with this wheel when it does come out. Even without full force, however, there are benefits to be had from the upgraded motors, the higher slew rate, and the larger diameter wheel. Compared to the DD Pro, it felt like I had a bit more information about what the suspension was doing, especially when driving softer road cars. For stiffer race cars, it feels a bit more responsive, probably thanks to that faster slew rate. It feels like I have a few extra milliseconds to react to what the car is doing. To be clear, it's not a revolution by any means, especially without full force. If you don't like GT7's force feedback, this isn't going to change your mind. The power output from the DD Extreme is extremely strong and smooth. And during my testing, I never experienced any loss of performance, even when using the wheel at higher power settings for extended periods of time. I have no doubt you could run an endurance race on the DD Extreme with whatever settings you wanted with no loss of performance. The reality, though, is that as these direct drive wheels become more commonplace in this range of the market, it's starting to get a bit more difficult to differentiate between them. That's where the more nuanced things like slew rate, sustained torque values, and proprietary force feedback protocols like full force are going to become more important in the wheel market moving forward. And all of those things are in favor of the DD Extreme. If you're watching this review, you probably fall into one of two camps. You either have a Gran Turismo DD Pro and are wondering if you should upgrade, or you're in the market for a new wheel and you're trying to decide which model to buy. Obviously, it's up to you to determine if these features are worth it, but as someone with both of these wheels, I can at least offer you my opinions. As I just mentioned, the Gran Turismo DD Extreme is great, but it's not perfect. My only real critiques are with the vegan leather material and the directional switches. I have owned many leather-wrapped steering wheels over the years, and there's always something special about unboxing and holding them for the first time. They're typically soft and supple and smell almost like a new car. It makes you feel like you're using a premium product, or dare I say it, a luxury item. The vegan leather on the DD Extreme does not have that same feeling or smell. It is not particularly soft to the touch, and it looks and feels thin. I can't help but wonder about the long-term durability of this material over the years. It's okay, but it's not great. Likewise, the directional switches are underwhelming. They have a plastic feel as they actuate, and they don't feel particularly satisfying or precise to use. They do provide a solid click and sound when pressed, so you know you've done something, but it feels like my finger needs to travel a bit further and with a bit more force than I would like it to. This is a bigger issue with the primary 7-way directional switch, as you'll be using it extensively to navigate menu-heavy games like Gran Turismo 7. It becomes a bit of a chore to keep pushing it around, though the knob's rotating feature has the opportunity to become a quick way to blast through menu screens once you get used to it. All of these drawbacks are almost certainly cost-cutting measures designed to keep the price of the DD Extreme from getting completely out of control. It's just unfortunate those measures had to impact the parts of the wheel your hands actually touch. Despite a few shortcomings with the rim itself, I think the Gran Turismo DD Extreme is pretty much a slam dunk. And when we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it's easy to see just how much this package has going for it, especially as a long-term investment. First, it has one of the most powerful and responsive direct drive motors on the market. More power is always better, but I think 15 Newton meters of sustained torque will be more than enough for the vast majority of people out there. Second, this is Fanatec's first wheelbase built from the ground up with QR2. And the QR2 quick release system is foundational technology for the company's ecosystem that it will build upon for years or even decades to come. Next is the wheel's support for full force. Considering Fanatec's market share and prominence in the industry, I suspect it will be quickly implemented by all of the top game developers. I also suspect it will be quite popular, and as it continues to evolve, it will start to make the older Fanatec wheelbases feel obsolete over time. Last, but certainly not least, is the fact the DD Extreme is standing on a literal mountain of compatible accessories in the Fanatec ecosystem. If you don't like the wheel on the DD Extreme, you can get something else. You have plenty of other wheels to choose from, along with a range of pedals, shifters, handbrakes, and other upgrades. This flexibility allows you to easily build around the DD Plus wheelbase as your needs change over time. All of that is worth a lot and makes it very easy to recommend the Gran Turismo DD Extreme. Check out the links in the video description below for my written review, and be sure to visit the community discussion thread about this wheel in the GT Planet forums. This is a significant product release for the Gran Turismo community, and there's going to be a lot to talk about. I will be checking into the thread and will be happy to answer any questions you guys might have about the DD Extreme. I'll see you there.